well, hello. Let me check if it's streaming. I think I am. I'm checking YouTube. And I'm up. All right, cool. Yeah, for some reason, thing was saying, doesn't matter. Hello. I am Jada. Haha. Ooh, there we go. Today we will be going over 2023 reflection. Yay! This is so awkward. Ooh, I don't know if it's better to like say that or to act as if it's not and just keep going. But what's done is done. So I have been seeing a lot of people make a lot of posts reflecting on this last year of 2023. I honestly, okay, it's not peer pressure. I think it's good to reflect. I just am new to recording myself and podcasts, so I'm a little nervous. Yeah, and I thought, anyways, I'm really, like I said, nervous and kind of embarrassed by my lack of posting about goals, I guess. Really just like having confidence in my goals or having confidence in myself. So this is kind of to keep me more accountable than just making a post. It's like, hey, these are my real answers, I think. So yeah, anyways, I watch a lot of Chris Williamson. I liked his reflection, 2023 reflection video. Mine's definitely not going to be like that. But he had offered a sort of template and I really liked it. So we will get into that right now. I feel like I probably should have put more time maybe into like revising this. But that's what this new year is for, actually doing those things. So we go. So the first category is on the best memories. So first question is, what was the best surprise that happened this year? To which I would say the best surprise was being asked to be a part of the $1 Million Upside team, like the core team. That was it. That was the best thing ever. I feel like I've really, I don't know. Let me think about, I should have written down more because the only thing I wrote down was asked to join the MDU team. And I feel like I should probably go more in depth with it. So last year I found the MDU team, the $1 Million Upside team. I think I found them in October. There's a comment. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I found the MDU team back in, I believe, October. Pretty sure it was KJ that had invited me to a live stream. And they were just really funny. They were fun. And they interacted a ton with everybody that was commenting when they were doing a lot of live streams, especially Joel. Joel was there all the time. And really, I think what drew me in was that they would interact with me sometimes. And that was it. I was just like, oh my gosh, they're kind of my friends. So, but that's what drew me in to keep watching their streams. But really, it was also their personalities and how much it showed that they wanted to just educate people and hold each other accountable. And they would stream really often. It would be on like YouTube like 2 or 3 times a week. It was just cool. But yeah, the more I watched them and the more I followed them on Facebook and their Facebook group, the more I really just wanted to work with them, and I really wanted to at least interact with them more. So when they had the opportunity earlier in January of 2023 to bring more people onto their team, I was super excited when they brought me. Now that wasn't a part of the core team. That was just, hey, we need some people to help with our acquisition. So I was a part of that. I did a lot of broker outreach and would do my best to help with anything else that I could. And my best was enough for them to want to actually include me into the MDU team. So that was just amazing. And it was the nicest I have felt and the most appreciated. Yes, getting me flustered. Next one. I have so many more to go. Oh my God. Okay. I should have had a better system to do this, but it is what it is. So next one is the best meal I had, which was Korean fried chicken. I love Korean fried chicken. It is so good. Yes, easy. The next one was the coolest new experience. I would say that was going to conferences. So I would say it was traveling, but I've been traveling a little more than I grew up accustomed to. I was traveling more within the last couple of years. So, but this year in June was my first conference, first real estate conference, and actually, it was really cool. Not only was the first conference with my team, I got to hang out with everyone, but it had free food, which is even cooler. And I got to stay at my Airbnb, so that was even cooler. Yeah, it was really exciting. I am very glad that I went, and now I understand a little more of how they work. That's kind of going to be more of my role, to actually go to these conferences, and not just real estate conferences, but just, networking and stuff in general. And I think it was great that the first one I went to, I actually got to go with my whole team. They were nice enough to kind of guide me through, like, oh, you don't need to watch all the speakers all the time. Sometimes you can go actually network and talk to people. And then what was cool, and what I will learn to do now, and what I will do now, is actually interview people that I meet over there, either that I meet or that I know of. And thank you to Caroline, Caroline Eller. She bought me some lavalier mics for Christmas, and I love her dearly. So that'll actually give me the opportunity to do those things. So I'm so excited, and that was my coolest new experience of the year. Next one was my favorite first meeting. It ties with meeting the MDU team and meeting PACE in Temecula. So kind of difficult. I'll say those two. Meeting my team was actually before that conference. We had the MDU's first meetup in Dallas, and that was pretty dang cool. And I got to hang out with them, got to hang out with the baby too. And then Pace in Temecula was just sick. It was awesome. That was also the first time that I met Isa. If you guys don't know her, Isa Fidelino. She's incredible. And it was so cool to see her, just because I knew that she wanted to do something with the youth. And that day that I had met Pace in Temecula, it was super cool. We ended up all kind of, well, not all, it was like 8 to 10 of us, hung out until like 1 a.m. at McDonald's while he was just dropping gems to Isa, and really going in depth with like what a youth financial literacy group might look like, and what are the things that she should be aware of, what are some ideas that he had. And it was just amazing. So that was cool. There was a lot in there. Yeah, lav mics. I want to have a new setup too, where I actually use the mics. So that will happen soon enough. I have to use a mic. I got it. So yes. Thank you. The next one is my favorite new city, Orlando, Florida. Super cool. New city. I went to Dallas in 2022, so that's the only reason why I don't have Dallas. Otherwise, I would say Dallas, because I just have a lot of cool people that I know over there. I went over there for Vina Jetty's birthday. So anyways, new city, Orlando. Favorite new friend is a mix between like 6 people. First one is all of the MDU team. So it was really cool to meet them all. And I would say that we're friends now. So it's really nice. And then the next ones are, oh man, there's just so many people. Okay, favorite new friends. KJ Mudd, Joseph Mudd, Oscar Jimenez, Ione, Lagao, Isa Fidelino, Preston Lewin, Caroline Eller, Justin Brigado, Alex Lovely, Tim Mai. That's all I can think of right now. There's more probably that I'm like super jazzed to call my friend. But those are the people that I interact with the most and that I feel have a very, very big part of, they take a big part of my life. So yeah, I like them. Thank you, KJ, KJ and Joseph. Woo! Hit that like button. Appreciate you. KJ is one of my favorites. So yes, I don't know. I don't like having like a favorite one thing because I feel really bad about like, oh, well, what are the other things? And I can't really choose what's my favorite. So take that as you will. What went well this year? I had tenants for most of the year in my Dallas property, as well as my Joshua Tree and my LA properties. So that was awesome. Not having to worry about rent is super fun. I joined the MDU team. That was probably the best thing that happened this year. I joined the Teen Millionaire Challenge as well. I'm like going back and forth between some pages. Anyways, the Teen Millionaire Challenge, I was asked by Tim Mai to help manage that program, and that was just incredible. I'm so honored that he actually thought of me to work with him. So that's just been awesome. Another thing is I am working with ISA's Bionic program as well. She motivates me so much, and I love her passion for helping the youth and actually like just being a bad bitch. I don't want to curse on this channel, but she's incredible. So the fact that she also asked me to help run sometimes and just be a part of that was amazing. I'm super, super excited to work with her and learn from her and also be able to educate with her. I helped raise some money as well for a multifamily investment. That was pretty cool. I was barely trying and didn't know what I was doing. So the fact that I did that at all was super awesome. And the list goes on and on. So that's where I will leave some of the what went wells this year. This is also now in the category of career. There will be more. So why did these events happen? Why did those go well? I can't think of the right words, but whatever, it's fine. So why I believe those things happened was because I was really focusing on myself, on growing myself, on personal development, and really, really focusing on bringing value to other people. So I super wanted to be a part of the MDU team, and really I just kind of wanted to be closer friends with them because they're super cool, and I really liked their encouraging vibes as well as their generosity, and I want to be like that. So I felt, hey, if I were to be around them more, maybe work with them more, that would rub off on me, or I can understand how they can be these kinds of people and implement that into myself. Focusing on bringing value to people. So the fact that I was part of the team at first was just awesome. I tried to do as much as I could in my role in broker outreach, where I felt I can help in any way, with any kind of content that I could do, or any kind of planning, or just note taking in general. Those are really things that I really, really focused on this year. So, or this last year. So yeah, I think just having the intention to try to help in any way that I can really was the catalyst to the things that went well. And lastly, what did I learn? It's here. I don't want to have all these banners, so I'm just gonna go there. This is the annual review success category. Okay, so I lost it. Okay, what did I learn? I learned to prioritize things, I guess. By that, I mean look a little more in depth at what is helping me grow and what's helping or what's not helping. So, career wise, I was trying to be less, what's the right word? Less shiny object syndrome, I guess. So, the year before, I was just learning as much as I could, just kind of taking action in whatever I could. I remember I was looking for PMLs, I was trying to wholesale, I was trying to dispo, I was trying to do Airbnb arbitrage and a bunch of other stuff that I can't even remember now. Calling for people sometimes. And so this last year, I prioritized more. So I started getting some traction with Airbnb arbitrage. I started gaining traction with multifamily. So it was just, okay, well, I'm going to prioritize more. And I don't need to look for more things, because if I can get good at these things, then I think that that'll be best. Yeah. So in terms of career category of this, that's the end. I can't think of words. It's fine. Okay, so next in the, here, I'm gonna put this. Next in this category is relationships. So friendships or anything like that. I'm counting. So what went well with relationships? First thing is okay, I'm just laughing because it's funny. So there was a bit of a miscommunication and a mix-up with my first interactions with the MD team. So what's great is that I was able to mend that relationship. It wasn't anything crazy. Again, miscommunication. And yeah, that was just really funny because I was freaking out, thought that, I'm ruining not only my reputation, but my relationship with these awesome people. And look at us now. I'm a part of the core team. So I just thought that was funny. What also went well, or what I learned in terms of relationships, is how to be a better leader. And I think a large part of that is, like talking to Joseph Mudd, by the way. I think he's a fantastic leader. And it's funny because it's like the great leaders are thrust into power kind of thing. I think that's the right way to phrase that. But Joseph does not want to be held responsible for so many things, and it's so funny because he's the most qualified to do all of those things. He's so good at everything, at like people, or be like, his interdependency is so good. And when I face issues or anything with other partners or with other people, I usually go to him and ask, like, how would he handle a situation? And I love how he handles them. And it usually stems from how would I want somebody to approach me during this kind of situation? So go, Joseph. And then I also learned from Justin Brigado about following up with people and actually keeping relationships. And I'm still working on that. But I think of him very often because he would always just kind of call me randomly and then have the most ADHD conversations ever. But it allows me to know more of his personality, and he's just hilarious. And I want to talk to him more. I mean, not like every day, but like he's somebody that I want to be around and know long term. And I think I know that now because he was so persistent with, I guess, following up and also just trying to be as helpful as possible. Like, he's a great connector. So that's another thing that I'm learning from him. Oh my God, my nose tickles. Ah, okay. Yes. Now we're going into the health portion of this. Oh, health. What went well this year? I exercised more, which is pretty cool. I didn't realize until I started working out a little more this year that I was not doing jack for a couple of years there. I used to be in dance. I used to be in cheerleading. I'm not the most athletic person, but I would move my body a lot growing up, relatively a lot, moderate amount. But yeah, I just wasn't doing that really within the last year. Sometimes my dad and I would like juggle the ball, but not often enough. So that was something that I'm appreciating about myself, that I did more. I also ran up a very big hill. So, that was good. I was working on it for a couple weeks, and I ran it right before a big trip. I was very proud of myself. And I also ran a mile for Thanksgiving. So Alexis Morgan, well, a bunch of people were doing like 5Ks and stuff. But specifically on Thanksgiving, I saw Alexis Morgan. I think she was in Hawaii doing a 5K. And that was the thing that I was just like, okay, well, I have a little bit of time on Thanksgiving. Let's go. And I meant to do a 5K. But again, that hill kicked my ass. So, but I did a mile and I went up it. Why did all of these things happen? Because I am getting back on being disciplined and actually doing things that are good for me. And yeah, discipline over motivation. Just doing it and getting up in the morning and doing Pilates or whatever, because it is good for me, good for my scoliosis. And what did I learn? That it's easy to just do things. Just tell yourself, no, don't even tell yourself to do it. Well, tell yourself to do it, yeah, but then just do it. And it's, even if it's not an easy task, still do it. So that's what I learned in terms of the health category of the year. Next one is personal growth. I feel like I should have music, but everything's copyrighted. So this is what you get. Okay, personal growth category. What went well this year? I had a big mindset shift, and I feel better about myself and where my life is going. So that's pretty dang good. Yes. Why did that happen? I believe in my mindset, or my paradigm shift, essentially. I believe the reason for that is because I've started to open my mind up more. And hold on, let me read this. In the sense of like, okay, like actually putting into practice, thinking about who I want to be. So I think what really helped was watching like Layla Hormozy or Alex Hormozy, or just reading more books that I really felt inspired by, like Think and Grow Rich and 7 Habits and the Rich Dad Poor Dad series and stuff. I think like really delving into a personal development journey. I don't know if journey is the right word. It makes it sound cringy, and that's not what I want. Here, we'll say it like this. Letting go of the ego and being a little more open, and it's difficult. It's difficult to say. We're going to say letting go or putting my ego aside. I don't think I'm the most stubborn person, the most egotistical, but growing up, I was known to be a know-it-all. And I think with certain people, if I have a discussion with them, okay, it's really difficult. This is really difficult because I'm not super stubborn. Like I will allow other people's opinions to penetrate my mind and like I actually think about things. But I guess I don't know. I'm a mix of like too much agreeable sometimes and then too disagreeable sometimes, where I can be a little confrontational. And I have, during those times, I'm trying to put my ego aside more. You know what really helped with that? Being in the hospitality industry. And when guests are coming at you and they're super mad about something that sometimes is their fault, just saying sorry or being apologetic or, handling the situations is more about handling them effectively rather than efficiently. So sometimes if a guest was like, hey, this light bulb doesn't work, which they've done many times, rather than just sending over another light bulb, I send over another light bulb, but I also talk to the guest and I don't know. Anyways, it's really difficult to go into this being by myself. I feel like it would be easier if I had another person and we can like talk. But it's also because I see comments coming up. Oh God, thank you all. Sorry, people are just being nice in the comments. Appreciate you. Okay, so really good things. Why did I have a mindset shift? Really, I just started watching and reading more things that inspired me to be a better person, and I just want to be better. What did I learn? I learned more about how discipline makes me feel content, or I guess discipline motivates me, which is kind of like contrary to what I said earlier, where it's like, have discipline, not motivation. But yeah, I think the discipline to like that goes into a lot of things. Like the discipline to like put into work, actively being open-minded, the discipline to be open to the information that I'm digesting, either from videos or from discussions with people or from books that I'm reading, the discipline to actually read books. I feel like a lot of people may go, or I know some people who say, I'm pretty successful and I don't read books at all, which is fine. Why I like reading, and not only because of the content that I'm reading, but I believe that reading is a great practice in your focus. And I'm not there yet to meditate as much as I hope to. I am not accustomed to laying down for like 20 minutes and just breathing. I do it sometimes, but I find that reading is more fun for me to practice focus because it's so distracting. Your thoughts can be super distracting. And I find myself often reading the same paragraph like 10 times because every time I would get, a little further than I had gotten before, like, 2 sentences in, I would start thinking of how the sentence would connect with another aspect in my life. But then I would start thinking about the aspect too much. And it was just a mess. So now so reading more and reading all these books gives me the opportunity to practice clearing my mind and having one thing that I'm focused on. So that's, yeah. Okay, so that was it in terms of the personal growth category. So the next question is, what habit or system did I account for the most What habit or system accounted for most of my successes and why? There we go. Um, I put the habit of doing my best. So, doing my best in terms of the work that I'm doing, doing my best in terms of trying to focus more. So, reading, at building relationships. Yeah, I would say that. I don't know what other habit or system people would say, but I think doing your best is probably one of the best ones to really focus on. Because even if my best is different every second, or every once in a while, I don't know. Just why wouldn't you want to be your best? Because your best means that you're focusing more, or you're trying to focus more. You're trying to be better. So I think that's a pretty good answer. And next one is, what are the most valuable ways I am spending my time? Okay, so, okay, that's a lot of different things. So, first couple ones I put have been exercising focus on my health and my mindset. So, like I keep saying, reading more helps me practice my focus, which is good. I don't want to be like AD kind of everywhere. It's difficult to be like that, especially if you're your own boss. And I find, I still do it. I'm working on it, but I find myself doing less and less of working on a certain task and then remembering that I have another urgent matter to attend to, and then doing that, and then getting interrupted by another urgent matter, and doing all of these things. So the fact that I'm reading, I'm also learning more about prioritization. And I think reading like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, using the Harvard Time Box has been super valuable to me. It's definitely, they really focus on, I guess, priorities and how to prioritize, or not how to prioritize, but allowing you kind of a structure so that you understand what you want to prioritize. So, yeah, learning more how to prioritize and how to be preventative rather than doing urgent or attending to urgent matters all the time. And then other valuable ways I'm spending my time is exercising. I don't hardcore workout because I don't want to. So it is what it is. But as long as I move my body, every day and do things, I think that's always valuable. And also eating. And that's probably not the most like, oh my gosh, look at her, revolutionary. But I just tend to get lazy and not feed myself, which is not good. So anytime I do, that's a win. And it's also a win because I know that I'm putting good stuff in my body. So especially nowadays, I'm not just going with a cup of noodles or whatever's convenient at the store. It's like, no, I'm actually going to, whatever I'm getting, my wealth is my health. Yeah. My health is my wealth. Both, I think either way go hand in hand. But really having that mindset is helpful. And so now I'm trying to get good things, pretty much. I don't know. The point of that was to say, sorry, I lost track. The point of that is to say that rather than getting quick, convenient things to eat, most of the time, maybe sometimes I'll do that, but I'm trying to get convenient things that are also good for me. So if I want snacks, I have mandarins, I have like macadamia nuts or something. It's not like crackers or good tasting things. But more and more, I find myself being okay with having them as a snack, which I think is great because they're pretty good for you. Next question. How can I allocate more time to these areas? In the areas of exercising focus, exercising in general, eating more, working, I guess. Anyways, how can I allocate my time more to this? Really, I think prioritization. So I was reading in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People recently about not just having a daily, not to-do list, but like, here are my priorities, and then here are other things that need to get done. There we go, daily planning. Not just daily planning, but weekly planning. So, yes, if I plan things more in advance and I'm flexible with how I go about achieving those goals, I think that would help a ton in more areas than just my health or my personal growth or career. I think it would just help in general with everything. So, yeah, I don't need to go super in depth on every question. It's fine. Next question. What brought me the most happiness? I would say being useful to people and bringing value to people's lives in general. So that means being useful to my team, not being lazy, committing to my word if I say I'm going to do something, communicating with them if I'm a little, I don't want to say that. Like I said, committing to what I say I'm going to do. If something is a little out of my area of knowledge, and then communicating with the right people and letting them know that I don't think I can do this on my own, and that's fine. I'm still learning, and they usually are very patient with me and will help me. So yes, being useful to as many people as I could be useful for is, I think, the thing that brings me the most happiness and fulfillment. Next question. Who are the people that had the greatest impact on me? I think that would be my parents and my team. And I think from this whole live, people could probably see why. Really, I admire them, and I like the qualities that they possess. And working so closely, or being close, or interacting, I guess, as closely as I do with the people that I admire and I want to be like, is the best. It gives me the opportunity to actually practice seeing and being that which I want to be. How can I see and collaborate with them more? By reaching out to them, I would say. Yeah, if I want to collaborate more with somebody, I will learn to just text them or call them. Say, hey, how you doing? There we go. Okay, so the next subject is lessons. Oh, goodness. Oh, my God. We're like halfway there. Okay, this is going to be a long podcast. Okay, maybe not super long, but we're already 40 minutes in, which is insane. So, career-wise, here. Well, it's fine. We'll leave it. Career-wise, what didn't go so well this year? First thing that came to my mind was certain partnerships. So, as the light is fading, let me try to fix the lighting. There we go. Okay, so things that didn't go too well were some partnerships that I had not foreseen going as they went. I don't think I ended anything with anyone on bad terms, which is really cool. But I learned a lot. And I learned a lot about who I want to work with or what kind of people I want to work with. And yes, I did not think of that beforehand, or I didn't know to think of that beforehand. So why didn't they go well? Why didn't these partnerships go well? I would say lack of communication. I wouldn't communicate well with what I needed or what I thought was unfair quickly enough. I feel like I was building a lot of resentment, which is not cool. just talk to people. It's fine. Have hard conversations. So not only me not always communicating, but I think the way that me and certain partners would communicate with each other as well, or at least the way that I felt they were interacting with me was in a certain way, in a certain manner that I don't think was productive. And what did I learn? Well, first thing I learned was to always ask for help. It is what it is. It's okay if I ask for help. I am 23. I am learning. Everyone's learning. And everybody that I would want to work with would be patient enough to help guide me. So that's one of the major things. Second thing is to have clearly defined roles. So in terms of if you're going to get a property with someone together, either buy a property or manage a property with a partner. Yes, have very clear roles. So I'm more accustomed to the short-term rental market or field. So let's say I had a partner in the short-term rental side. I should be able to now understand, okay, this is my role. I'm going to handle guest interactions, or I'm going to handle the cleaning schedule, or these certain aspects, and you, partner, will handle these certain aspects so that nobody feels like they're overwhelmed, and a lot of other bad negative emotions. What else did I learn? I learned I learned a little bit more about how I want to be treated in a partnership. So I want to feel like if I have questions or anything that I need help with, that it's fine and to just ask. I don't want to feel like if somebody says, hey, if you have any questions, just ask, and then I have questions and then they get mad at me. That's annoying. I don't want to do that. I also forgot what I said. How I want to be treated. I also want to be asked to do things and not told, because that's not cool, and vice versa. I want to be able to, or I want to be asking people to help me with certain things. So if I'm delegating, whether it's their job or not, I don't think it's an efficient way to run a business if you're just telling people what to do all the time. Yes, my dad mentioned that to me growing up, and it's just nicer. It's nicer if someone's saying, hey, can you please do this? Hey, can you please blah, blah, blah. Hey, can you help me with this? I want to be helpful. Feels nice if somebody's asking for my help. Okay, next category is relationships. What didn't go so well this year? Well, many things. In terms of friendship and what's the right word? Romantic relationships. Some of those ended. That was it. There we go. So that's what didn't go so well this year. Some ties were cut. Why were they cut? I would say miscommunications and the inability for me and whoever else to be on the same page. Again, whether that was romantic or with friendships or partnerships or anything like that. There you go. Miscommunication and not being able to see eye to eye. And what did I learn? I learned to hang out with people who are in a similar alignment to me. There we go. That's it. So It doesn't have to be only real estate people, or only multifamily people, or only entrepreneurs. I would say a majority of the people that I want to hang out with are probably in that field. But alignment can be different. It doesn't have to be career-wise. I think spiritually, or just, I think a lot of my interests involve real estate and involve entrepreneurship, but that also goes into a lot of like philosophy kind of discussions and talking about or going in depth with like what are our principles and a lot of different things that I would say are a different topic than real estate. So yeah, I think being around people like that, people who are actively bettering themselves and not just staying stagnant or content with where they are. I think being around people like that are what's going to help. Yes. Okay. Next category is health. So what didn't go so well with my health this year? I would say not prioritizing exercising. That's not prioritizing exercising and eating. Makes me sound like I have an eating disorder. I don't. No, I don't think I ever have. I think I'm just lazy sometimes. A lot. I was. So yeah, that's probably one of the bigger things that didn't go well. I was sitting down a lot and not moving my body. So I started to get a lot of lower back pain. I noticed I wasn't as flexible, and that was one of the things I was known for growing up. So I think there's a little bit of that like ego of, oh, I'm the flexible one, whatever. But also I just feel more capable when I'm more flexible. I think anybody can probably attest to that. So like even like reaching backwards, sometimes if you go at a weird angle or certain ways that you're not accustomed to, it hurts, and I don't like that. So yeah, I noticed that was happening a lot earlier in the year. So there you go. Why was my health not so swell? Because I was lazy. And what did I learn? I learned how to be more disciplined I'm learning. Or what did I learn? I learned that I need to be more disciplined when it comes to my health. So I need to have discipline to exercise, need to have discipline in what I'm eating, need to have discipline with what I'm putting into my body, whether it be food or the kind of thoughts that I'm putting into my head or whatever else, because I can't think of more. So we'll just say those two. So there you go. Next category is the personal growth. So what didn't go so well in terms of my personal growth this year? I would say that I was being very stagnant, or I was remaining very stagnant, or in more of a decline in the beginning of the year in terms of my personal growth. As I was definitely gaining traction in terms of like my real estate endeavors, I was not very confident. I was not putting myself, I was actively putting myself in situations that made me feel bad about myself. And I don't think that was good. So there we go. That was what was not going well this year. Why was that happening? I believe those things were happening because I wasn't very strong in my decision making. Fortitude is the word I was thinking of. I think the right way to say this, lack of fortitude, is that a thing? I don't know if that's like what I'm trying to say. That feels half right. I lack of fortitude, I'm gonna say. Yes. So that, I think that's the reason why I wasn't doing so well personally. I was not making or not confident in the decisions that I was making, and I will learn from that. And what did I learn? I learned to, I wrote focus on growing myself, damn it. So there we go. I'll learn on growing myself. So really, I think the lack of, or the insecurity in my decision making comes from the insecurity, just in general. I don't feel, or I didn't feel like what I would do was the right thing to do all the time. And so how I'm going to change that is just by doing things and learning as much as I can, and really thinking about what my principles are and acting in accordance with them. I think once I do that, but I think, and this is also coming from reading 7 Habits, but being a more principle-centered person, I think will lead to more confidence in myself, in my thoughts, in my actions. And I think that's pretty important. So yes, competence equals confidence. And I think the more, I think about things thoroughly and start acting and learning more, the more that I will not be putting myself in situations that I don't want to be in. There we go. Next question, which I probably should have had lined up. Oh well. So what did I expect to complete but didn't? I expected to, I'm going to say, have more of a social media presence. Or, okay, here. I didn't fully, okay, some of these questions aren't going to have the best answers because I was on a time crunch. But something that I expected to complete was at least a month's worth of content planning, and I didn't do that. There we go. I didn't do a lot of things, but we're just going to point that out because I can't think of the other things right now. Is this still an important goal of mine to plan out the content that I'm going to be putting out? Yes, very important. How can I make future follow-through more likely? I think if I commit less to things, I will have more time for things that are important to me. So while it sounds kind of, I think, like narcissistic to try to prioritize content, it is for a variety of different reasons. Content will help me in my career. I'm not going to call it content. I'm going to call it more of an online presence. Putting more effort into that and or I guess organization, prioritization, will help not only myself, but I plan to do more podcasts. I plan to actually put out things that are educational, so it'll be helpful to others. And I think the more of a presence that I have and the more people I work with, the more I can, the better. I have a team. So where I go, the team goes. So if I'm going up in regards to my presence and my collaborations, the more that I'm going to be able to give those opportunities as well to my team and to other people. So yes, that is how I will do that. What are the least valuable ways I'm spending my time? 100% on Instagram. That's like the main thing. Well, okay, there's different things because it's asking least valuable ways. So that's plural. Instagram, dwelling in certain thoughts that are just not helpful at all. My dad and Alex and Layla Hormozy talk about, I'm just going to say Alex, no, all 3 of them. Yeah, all 3 of them are, I've heard them all talk about not dwelling on something that's not benefiting you. So I think it's easy for people to ruminate. our brains are kind of hardwired to think about the things that could go wrong or the things that are bad, because that helps you with survival. Like a ton of things. Just it's really easy. It's really easy to see the bad in something. And that's why I think there's a video where Alex is talking about like 22 things to not do to that keep you from success or something. And pretty much the whole point of the video, because it's not like, oh, things that you can do to grow your business. It's like things that you don't want to do to grow the business. That makes sense. But anyways, the process of his thinking, I believe, behind that, which he says, so I'm just kind of trying to paraphrase, is your brain, it's really easy to think of things that go bad. It's really easy to think of things that go wrong. So if you can think of all the things that would make you fail, then it's really easy to think of like, okay, what's the opposite of that? And I'll just do that. There we go. So I tend to, or people that aren't, anyways, we're just going to say me. I would tend to ruminate in a lot of negative emotions, or a lot of like, poor me kind of thinking. I guess victimize a little bit. So that is a very not valuable way to spend my time. Just don't do that. There we go. I say there we go a lot. Yes, fixing it. Okay, next question. Anything I should have said no to, and why? At first I had thought of like, no, it's always good. Like everything I did put me to this point in my journey. That's pretty good. And I know that I'm getting better, even if things go down ever, and they'll come back up. But upon further thought, I would say hanging out with people that didn't align with me was something I should have said no to. So, yeah, just people that aren't, I think, putting too much effort into bettering themselves in different ways. That's it. How can I prevent myself continuing to spend time this way? I will just be more disciplined. Yep. That's the vague answer. Disciplined in what, you may ask? Everything. Yeah, hold on. Let me look at what these were. Okay, yes. So how can I prevent myself from wasting time? Is just by being more disciplined to make the things that I'm doing worthwhile. So if I said Instagram is not a very valuable use of my time, then be disciplined enough to not go on Instagram as much, and maybe just go on there for like actual work things. So I'm posting things, or commenting, like intentionally. Like I'm going on there I have an intention behind it, as well as being disciplined in who I hang out with. So not just hanging out with people because I'm lonely, but because I think that their presence will serve me and I will serve them. Have my goals or priorities shifted in the last 3 months? Yes. Easy answer. Is there anything I am doing that is no longer in alignment? Why? I would say yes, there are some things that are no longer in alignment. I think that has to do with a lot of projects that I'm still a part of, that I just know now that I don't really want to be a part of it. I mean, it's great when things are working well. And it's like, why wouldn't I not want to, like, why would I want to leave this? But I know that in terms of my vague goals of where I want to go, I don't want to be doing these projects. They're serving me because I am learning a lot, but it's just not things that I want to keep doing. So I do not think that they are aligned with what I want to be doing, what I want to continue doing. Knowing what I know now, what advice would I give myself? I think overly communicate with people and always think of an exit plan. This is based off of the partnerships that didn't go well this year. So yes, that was a huge thing that I would advise. What habits or systems would improve my follow through with this? I think if I had more difficult conversations, that would help. So that's what KJ and Joseph are great at reminding me, which I love. That makes it sound like I have a lot of difficult conversations with them. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is that they are very good at being a little more confrontational. Confrontation isn't bad per se. I think it has a negative connotation. But I just mean just talking to people. There we go. So I think if I actually communicate more and have those difficult conversations like, hey, I don't like when you speak to me this way. Or, hey, I feel overwhelmed and I am doing X, Y, and Z for X, Y, and Z reason. I need to know if those are valid reasons. I would like help. So having more conversations like that and actually pushing myself out of my comfort zone and not being so agreeable would help me a ton. Last question in this category is, how can I make my environment more supportive of my goals? I think that would be to surround myself with similar-minded people. So I think, like I mentioned so much, my team, I think surrounding myself with them more will support all of these goals that I have, which I am going to be around them more this year. So super exciting. Not only my team, but just I know that, or like not only just the MDU team, but just other people in general. So I know that I'm working on certain projects, and I think actually focusing on those projects and more of brainstorming and planning out with those people that I'm already working with, that I like working with. I think being around them more will support my goals, as well as reaching out to people that I want to be like. So we'll say like Vina Jetty, for example. I would tend to think, oh, well, she's too big, or Pace, like they're too big. I'm not at the level yet to be worthy of reaching out to them. Just do it. I think people want to help, or maybe not super, super help, but just be around people that know that they want to get better. Anyways, the whole point of what I was trying to say with that point was, if you see someone and you want to be at their level, then talk to them, and that's how you can get there faster. So yeah, all right. Now we're going into the recap category. Woo! So, okay. What were my biggest wins and what did I learn from each of them? Okay, so I made a whole list. So I'm going to have that here. So what were my biggest wins? And what did I learn from each of them? First one was I helped raise for a multifamily investment. So that was huge for me because I did not think that I would do that at all this year. So the fact that I did was awesome. And what did I learn from that? To just have conversations with people. I'm pretty sure that the people that I had raised money from, I'm pretty sure we were talking about midterm rentals or something with like with rentals. And they were asking me for help with that. And I just decided to mention more of like what I'm doing and how I'm trying to get more into the multifamily space. And they're like, oh, well, that's really cool. I actually want to park my money somewhere. And I was like, oh, well, we have this opportunity. They're like, okay. So there we go. Next one is what were some of my wins? I started a podcast and became more active on social media. Yeah. I feel then like that sounds maybe a little narcissistic or cringy or weird, but that's also because growing up, I don't know, I guess I just saw social media like that, like a little narcissistic. But the part of the point of growing the social media and why that is a win, again, is because I know that I will be able to help people. So I know that these conversations that I have on the podcast, at least they help me. So that was a win for myself. And I know that some of the things that I post or that I'm going to be posting more is going to be educational, which helps other people. There we go. What did I learn from the podcast and more active on social media is to try to have fun with things and to just do it. So don't be a perfectionist, and just take action. And something I do want to do more of is actually just planning stuff. So not just taking gross action, or like, actually, I don't have to be a perfectionist, but I can do things well. So there we go. One of my biggest, or another one of my wins is some of the projects that I'm working on. So like the 18-minute challenge that I'm doing with a ton of people, KJ, Joseph, sub to Drew, and sub to Lou. So Andrew and Brad. I can't think of their last names right now, so that's why I will not say it. Andrew Adi something Hispanic, and Brad Lewis. I should know your names. Sorry. But anyways, doing the 18-minute challenge with them as well is the biggest win. It is so funny. What have I learned from starting that group with them is that I work with badasses, and it's sick, and I get to learn from them a lot, and learn where I can insert myself to provide value. And last but not least, was another one of my bigger wins that I would say was that I got to travel more and travel for work. So business expense. Yeah, there we go. That was it. Okay. So next question is, where were my time, attention, and energy best spent? And how can I double down on these areas? So I said my time, attention, and energy were best spent in regards to multifamily activities and my youth program endeavors. So in terms of multifamily, like going to these conferences, being a part of Zooms, and more, and learning, or I guess being a part of Zooms and all of that, why that is what is energy well spent, I'll say, is because I get to learn as much as I can. I know that multifamily is going to be a field that I will be in. And so doing all of these things, I think, teach me very applicable lessons, traits, things. They teach me good things. And then I also believe that my endeavors with the youth are energy well spent as well, just because I get to help them learn about all of this, which is awesome. Not just they get to learn about multifamily or real estate in general, but they get to learn about, or like what we're going over is way more. It's about, or we go over like emotional intelligence, really thinking about your mindset. We go into businesses, how to create your own business, how to think outside the box and make money. Just a lot of things that I don't think school goes over, that I was lucky enough to have parents that actually did go over. And being able to share all of these things with the youth and trying to prime their mind to be better for themselves is well worth my time. So that is 100% what I would want to double down and keep doing. But how can I double down and actually commit to these things that I think are very valuable is by doing less, committing less, and putting more attention onto these things. So really taking a look at the projects that I have now and my exit strategy so that I can really put my attention into growing the things that I think are very important to me. There we go. Next question. Where could my time, attention, and energy have been allocated more effectively? And how can I make this a reality? So I believe that I don't want to I should probably. Anyways, okay. So how can my energy be allocated more effectively? I think if I were to do less like property management, maybe. Okay, that's the wrong way to do things, but I now know what I want to do, and I'm doing things that I don't want to do. So if I just do less of the things I don't want to do, that not only I don't want to do them, but I don't want to do them because I know that they're not furthering where I want to end up. Doing less of that and putting more attention into my social media presence and putting more attention. Well, not that makes it sound weird. Putting more attention onto the endeavors I mentioned before. So youth programs, multifamily. Putting more attention and focus onto those will be a game changer. Now we're on the annual planning. Woo! Okay, so I didn't finish all of these. Again, I was on a time crunch and deal with it. So this is in terms of annual. Oh, here, we'll do this. Haha. Annual planning. Career category. So first question is, what is my most important goal for next year? I'm just going to say it. I'm a little bit embarrassed, but my most important goal for next year is to become someone I want to do business with. So that person is confident in what they are saying. That person is confident in their decision making and in their actions, and competent. And yes, I want to say the goals. The reason why I'm embarrassed about this one is I just don't know how vague it is, or I don't know if it's good that it's so vague. But yes, I want to be okay. We'll make it less vague by going a little bit more in depth. So like I was saying, someone that I would want to do business with is confident in themselves, confident in their decisions, competent. They communicate well. They're honest. They're always learning more, and a lot more things. Those are the main ones we'll say. Next question in regards to this is, why is achieving this goal important to me? So why do I want to become someone I would do business with? I think that if I would want to do business with me, that means that I could bring value to other people. So being someone I want to do business with would mean that they're valuable to me. So that would mean that if I'm that person, I'm valuable to others. So I wanted to do that. I think it was a question earlier in this template that was asking about like when do I feel happy? And it was my answer was when I feel useful to other people. So there we go. I want to be valuable. I want to be useful. What will success look like? How will I know if I have succeeded? Again, this is a very vague goal. So from what I think of right now, I know I'll be successful. Again, the goal is be somebody that I want to do business with. I think I'll know when I've succeeded that for the most part. When I prep more, when I prioritize things better, and we'll say, social media planning or youth program curriculums or anything like that, projects that I have, I will have prepped at least the next 2 weeks and what the main goals are there. Yes, prep 2 weeks in advance, essentially. That's what I'm trying to do, trying to say. So I will have prepped. I will always be prepped 2 weeks in advance for the projects I'm a part of. My bookkeeping will be up to date. That is also something that I think would be important in somebody I do business with, so that they don't, are good. That's good. Good to be up to date with your taxes and all of that and expenses. It's also why I think a lot of businesses fail, because they are not keeping track of a lot of those things. So it's important. I think also I would want to do business with somebody that's exercising pretty consistently. We're going to say 4 times a week at least. So that's 3 days where if I forget to do push-ups or something, it's fine. I won't. I'm going to do something. Either going to do push-ups or squats, full-on workout. I don't know. But it's really easy to exercise. Exercise is moving your body. So people that I want to work with move their body. Yeah, there we go. Next question in regards to this is, on an average day, someone who will achieve this goal does, and what they does is they are in, okay, so in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about there being 4 quadrants that people work within. So the first quadrant are things that are urgent and important. Second quadrant is things that are not urgent but still important. So there we go. Third quadrant is things that are urgent but not important. And then fourth quadrant are things that are not important and not urgent. So I think if I focus more on, what's the right word? Prevention, and working in quadrant 2 activities, so things that are important but not urgent. If I focus more on that, I will achieve my goals more. So I think I was talking about pretty much prioritization. Same thing for a lot of things. But it's super important. I don't want to just be putting out fires every day and having a very chaotic energy. I know people like that, and it's not at all what I would want as a consistent thing in my life. So I think if I put more of my focus on the systems that I have in place, and again, just quadrant 2. So put more focus on things that are important but aren't, I need your time right now. Because if you do that, like let's say if you're running a short-term rental business, if you have a good cleaning schedule, we'll say, and you let your, you can sync your cleaning schedule and your listing schedule. And so it's whenever this gets booked, it automatically lets your cleaner know. Like, let's say if you were to just do that, then you don't have to tell your cleaner every time you get a new booking, hey, this needs to be cleaned at this time. No, you're being preventative. You're already using systems that make things easier and automated so that you don't have to worry about, oh my God, did I let them know? So stuff like that, essentially. There we go. Okay. Next one is annual planning, personal growth. Woo! Oh my God, this is so long. Okay. So what's my most important goal for next year? That is to be 100 times more authentic and confident than I am now. more in the confident section. I feel like I'm pretty authentic for the most part. Okay, obviously I'm not. Otherwise I would have put that. But yes, I want to be more confident in myself, more confident in what I say and what I do. Why is achieving this goal important to me? I feel bad when I am timid, and I don't want to feel like that. There we go. Plus, if I am a business owner and if I have people under me that are running or that I'm managing or leading or anything like that, I don't think anybody will respect or feel comfortable working with somebody that's not confident in themselves. So I want to be a good leader and I want to project that. And I want them to feel comfortable and confident in what they're doing. What will success look like and how will I know if I have succeeded? That will be when I say what's on my mind. Over here, I put, I don't second guess myself when I speak or when I post things. I think everybody will do that in general because I think second guessing can be bad, but I can also see somebody looking at second guessing as, is this the best possible thing I could put out? You know, we're just going to leave it like that. Don't second guess myself when I speak or when I post something. There we go. I'll have felt like what I said and what I do will be the best possible things that I can do at the moment. So just do it. There we go. On an average day, somebody who will actually achieve this goal will do, and I wrote, and I believe they will have difficult conversations and they will just speak their mind, as well as do affirmations, probably, or at least that's what I will do. So that can sound a little funny, I think, or a little woo-woo, but I think affirmations are like visualizing things to trick your brain into thinking it's real. So with athletes, I think like Kobe Bryant, every time he would shoot the ball, he would always imagine it going into the basket. And then it's like, all right, brain, do your own calculations to know where the trajectory of the ball is probably going to go. You know, he thousands and thousands of times he had shot a basketball into a hoop. So I'm pretty sure it's a lot of like your body becomes accustomed to what, like, you know, depending on where you're at, what kind of strength you'll need, what kind of velocity and trajectory you would need in order to get into the basket, whatever. Anyways, I'm putting too much into this. The whole point was, I think visualizing stuff like that, or what sports people do, athletes, when they visualize, their brain sees it as true, and so it's more easy to actually be true. So if they're like, I'm going to win the championship game or whatever, it helps. I think a part of visualizing comes from affirmations. I actually spoke with Isa not too long ago, and she had spoken about how affirmations had helped her and continue to help, and I think that they do the same for me. So growing up, my mom had an affirmation that was, I'm pretty, I'm smart, and I can do anything I set my mind to. And I believe she's pretty, and I think she's super smart and very creative. And she has done everything that she's put her mind to. So she wanted a boutique, or she wanted to have a lot of clothes, and she got a boutique. So now she has clothes all the time. She wanted to run a nonprofit, and it took her a couple of tries, but she runs a pretty successful nonprofit, and just anything that she wants. It's amazing. So I wholeheartedly believe that having an affirmation and brainwashing yourself in a good way is good. And I think that successful people do it and visualize what they want to be like, or what they want their life to be like. So there we go. Yes. And then also going into how can I be as authentic and confident as possible. I think having very transparent conversations and communicating with people all the time. Even if I am embarrassed about what I want to say, or if I get cut off in a conversation, I don't just put my walls up and say, oh, well, it's fine. What I was going to say wasn't important. Just say it. I think the more that I just say what I say, I will be more confident. There we go. That's it. Okay. So now we are going into the final thoughts, because this has been a very long, long podcast. Oh, goodness. But that is what reflection is. It's going to be, well, long. You're going to be using your brain. So final thoughts. There's going to be a couple questions for these. So first question is, what would have had to have happened by the end of the next year for me to look back on the year and consider it a success? So that was a lot. Yes. What will have had to happen by the end of next year for me to look back on this year and consider it a success? I believe that when I am happy with the content that I'm putting out, that will be a part of what will make this year a success. So right now, I definitely know that I'm in the phase of just taking action or just putting stuff out there. But a lot of times I see what I want to get better at and what I can get better at. So I want to have, by the end of the year, I will see less of those. It'll be more of like, oh yeah, this is a podcast I'm proud of. I think I had good questions, or, I like the way that this reel came out, or I think I like the value that I'm putting out. I think I'm educating a lot of people. It'll also be a success when I am confident in what I speak about. So, while I do feel knowledgeable about certain subjects, I know that I can be more knowledgeable. And again, I think it goes into the competence equals confidence. So when I learn more and feel like I grasp a topic or a field more, then I will be more confident when I speak about. I think that will also make me feel and also be useful to people. And lastly, the people that I am interacting with, or here, I said I will have fulfilling and blossoming relationships. I'm just trying to put that in the best way that I can. I think that was it. So the people that I interact with, they make me feel fulfilled, and well, they don't make me. So I will feel fulfilled, and we'll just say that I'll just feel fulfilled with the people that I interact with. I will feel useful to them. I feel that they will also bring value to me, which will in turn bring value to the world. And those relationships will continue to grow. So yes, it'll be more than who I'm speaking with now, or interacting with on the daily now. It'll be more than that, and it'll be deeper, as well as with the people that I'm interacting with now. Okay. Apologies for the mistype, but okay, wait. Haha, there we go. I copied not the right thing. Okay. Who do I need to become for next year's chapter of my life? Oh my God. Okay. Who do I need to become for next year's chapter of my life story to turn out the way I would write it? That is a very convoluted question, I feel. But essentially, it's who do I want to become? Or I think the question is more of that be, do, have. So what do I want to have? What do I need to do to have it? And who do I need to be to do the things, to have the thing that I want? So I think I need to become, or not need to become, I think having my wealth is my health mindset is the best way to go about being who I want to be, I guess. That's who I want to be. I want to be somebody that's always thinking my wealth is my health. So that's my health physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So physically, exercising often, feeling good about what I put into my body. So, what I'm eating, or feeling good about what I do to my body, essentially, whatever I'm eating, or if I'm putting sunscreen on, stuff like that. So physically, putting good in and onto me. Also mentally and emotionally. So emotionally would mean really, really putting the effort in different things. I would say the main thing is being aware of my thoughts. We'll say that. Your thoughts control your emotions. So if I want to feel a certain way, or if I want to not feel a certain way, I will be more cognizant of what I'm thinking and, shifting my perspective on situations. So my dad would tell me of my dad and Jim Rohn had this hypothetical. We're just going to say hypothetical. I can't think of the right word. These anecdotes. Anyways, so if it's raining outside and somebody that's in sales, let's say they go door knocking or they go door to door, if it's raining, one guy would see that and go, man, well, that's a wasted day. I'm not going to go out in the rain. That's just not, it's not going to work. They just don't go out. They say, okay, well, I guess it's a rest day and I'll focus on whatever else, or it's just a rest day. To another person, or we'll say in the matter of this scenario, another salesperson could see the rain and go, oh my God, this is the perfect day to do sales. Everybody's going to be home. Nobody's going to go out to the beach or anything. So awesome. I know everybody's going to be home. Let me go knock on some doors. There you go. Perspective shift. So I'm going to be better at that. Or that's somebody that I want to become. I want to become somebody that always sees the silver lining in something and doesn't dwell in what's not useful. Yes. I will also be somebody that surrounds themselves with good people, with people that make me enthused about life, or jazzed to work with or be around or interact with, I'll say. There we go. And then lastly, more of my actions will be in the quadrant 2 department that I had mentioned rather than the quadrant 1. So it'll be more focused on prevention and on doing the important tasks that aren't urgent, rather than most of my time being on important and urgent tasks, because these are just fires that I'm putting out. And I know that if I put more thought into what I'm doing, not less fires will emerge. So there we go. Oh, okay. And finally, oh my goodness, this is a lot. So the last question is, okay. If I had to accomplish all of my goals for the next decade within the next year, what would I do? That's a lot. Okay. So the things that I was thinking of was, number one, to delegate more. So understanding how to delegate and not just do everything myself. So that was another thing that had gone wrong with partnerships. I would take on a lot of tasks and assume that other people would take on whatever they could take on, or would volunteer to do X, Y, and Z. But sometimes people need to be told, well, not told, directed in what needs to be done. Or maybe same thing with like, have clear goals or have clear roles. If things are a little overwhelming for me, I have to delegate. I have to ask for help. So doing that more. Kind of going into that, pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. Not only by speaking my mind, but also asking for help whenever I need it. So I don't need to just learn from experience. I can learn from the experience of others. And then in terms of like getting out of my comfort zone and speaking my mind, if I don't like a certain situation, or I think that something can be improved upon, saying it as quickly as possible will be good. I think that's good so that you don't breed resentment, and also so that things can probably get better the sooner that I bring it up. Yes. Another thing I wrote was most of what I do will have meaning or get me closer to my goals. So yes, if I had to accomplish all of my goals within the next year, what would I do? I would be doing meaningful things. So is being on Instagram and looking at memes meaningful or getting me closer to my goals? Sometimes. Not a lot. I just love memes. They make me laugh. But I can probably schedule that. Most of the time, I know that I can be working on something, whether it'll help me in my career, whether it'll help me build my relationships, or help me in other endeavors. So I know that one of my goals as well for this year is to write a song that is mostly composed by me. So, I know instead of going on Instagram, if it's just for a leisurely scroll, instead of doing that, because that's not really going to get me anywhere, I could be working on the song. It could be either doing research or thinking about, what kind of vibe I want or what kind of chord progression sounds good to me. Just fleshing that out more. Or I could draw, or I could pick up another hobby, or I could be walking, or I could be doing a ton of stuff. So I could be making sourdough bread, anything. I could be doing a lot more things than some activities that I feel aren't too useful now. Whew! And lastly, I will change my environment. So I think to fast track yourself, a lot of people say to get a mentor, or a lot of people say that who you are or where, or there's this one. Show me your friends and I'll show you like where you're going. I can't think of the right phrase, but it's something like that. So there we go. The environment that I'm going to be a part of is going to show where I'm going. So if I'm around people that aren't aligned with me, or if I'm around people that aren't necessarily going down the path that I would want to go down, then that's not really helping me. Or let's say my environment, if I am to be truly successful in the way that I want to be, I will put myself in an environment that is conducive to that. So I will be somewhere where I feel comfortable enough to take walks, comfortable enough to go outside more. I will be in an environment with people who, I'll say the culture is similar, and not culture in terms of like race, like Hispanic or Asian culture or anything like that. It's more of the culture of consideration, the culture of continually bettering yourself, culture of all of that, continually bettering or maintaining the physical environment around yourself as well. So that means, people take care of their houses, or people take care of the streets. People don't litter. I mean, maybe you'll have people that do a little bit, but for the most part, where I'm going to be around, it's going to be clean. People are going to care about themselves, and they're going to care about their community. So, yeah, I would say that all of those are things that I'm going to focus on to in terms of if I were to do something in the next year. Or hold on, let me just go back to the question. It'll be easier. Okay, so if I had to accomplish all of my goals for the next decade within the next year, what would I do? I would do all of those. And all of those meaning I would delegate more. I would push myself to speak my mind more. I would push myself to ask for help more. I would do things that will get me closer to my goals more often, which means to do less of things that don't do that. And I will be around those that are stimulating, those that are on the path that I want to be on, and I will be in an environment that is good. And what is good? We'll say God. God is good. So what is cleanliness is godliness kind of stuff. Like, not necessarily saying like, anyways, what is good? People that are considerate, or an environment that is clean, an environment that is orderly, an environment where people put effort into themselves and into their physical environment. So make sure I put myself in there. It's kind of like the whole my wealth is my health thing, where things may be a little more, we'll say pricey if you're trying to, we'll say eat healthy, or eat healthier, like let's say the carnivore diet. If somebody were to do that, meat can be super expensive. But if they know that it's good for them specifically, then they think it's worth it to put in that few extra bucks to make sure that they work well. Because if you put good input into yourself, I think the output will be exponential. So I don't want to be cheap. I want to make sure that I'm doing good things, even if it costs a little more now, because it will provide a ton of value at the end. So let me hide that now. Aha, now you can see my name again. Woo! So thank you for coming. Probably my mom will have watched all of this. So thank you, Mom. I love you. Yes, thank you for being here, and for thank you to me. Thank you to all of this. Thank you to everybody for anything, whether you made it this far or not. I think it's just nice to have done this, and I look forward to talking with more people on my podcast and having more conversations, because they're super fun. And I think that sometimes they do provide value as well to the other people that get to listen to the replays. So yeah, super excited for 2024. I will keep to these goals and everything that I have said. I see a comment. Jada, Oscar, thank you. I am leaving now. It has been an hour and 44 minutes. Thank you. Have a good night. Let's go 2024. Woo! Let's get better. All right.